When people hear the words ham radio examination, they often imagine pages of difficult equations, complicated circuit diagrams, and lines of Morse code moving too quickly to follow. But that is not what the examination is really trying to discover. It asks a far more practical question. Do you understand enough about radio to operate a transmitter safely, identify your station correctly, and avoid interfering with other users of the spectrum? That is what this episode will break down. In the previous episode, we saw why transmitting requires a license. Radio signals leave your equipment and enter a spectrum shared with aircraft, ships, emergency services, broadcasters, satellites, and other radio users. A license makes an operator identifiable and accountable. The examination checks whether that operator understands the equipment and the responsibility that comes with pressing the transmit button. In India, the qualification is called the Amateur Station Operator Certificate, or ASOC. It is available in two categories, restricted and general. Restricted offers more limited operating privileges and does not carry the additional Morse code requirement. General permits broader emission types and higher transmitting power, subject to the conditions specified by the government. So the choice is not between a real license and a temporary one. Both are valid qualifications. The difference is how broadly the station may be operated. The examination centers on two broad areas. The first is radio theory and practice, what the equipment is doing and why. The second is regulations and operating procedure, how to use that equipment responsibly on the air. General candidates must also demonstrate proficiency in Morse code at the standard specified for the examination. This episode explains what has to be studied. The next episode will cover the current application process, where to apply, what documents are needed, and what happens after the examination. So, if earning a call sign is something you genuinely want to pursue, subscribe and tap the bell. The remaining episodes will take the process one step at a time. Now, back to the examination. The technical section begins with the fundamentals: voltage, current, resistance, and power. The difference between alternating and direct current. Components such as resistors, capacitors, diodes, and transistors. How a power supply, transmitter, and receiver fit together. It then moves into the parts that make radio possible: modulation, radio wave propagation, antennas, feed lines, frequency measurement, electrical safety, and the prevention of unwanted emissions. The purpose is not to turn every candidate into a professional electronics engineer. It is to ensure that an operator understands what is connected to the antenna and recognizes when something may be unsafe or likely to cause interference. This part becomes much easier when it is studied as one complete chain. Electrical power enters the equipment. The transmitter places information onto a radio frequency signal. The feed line carries it to the antenna. The antenna radiates it. Propagation determines where it travels. The receiver at the other end recovers the information. Once that chain makes sense, many apparently separate examination topics begin connecting to one another. The regulations section deals with what happens once the station goes on the air. A candidate must understand how to make and answer a call, when to transmit the station's call sign, how to check whether a frequency is already occupied, and what to do if the station causes interference. It also covers station records, permitted communication, prohibited transmissions, testing procedures, and the special responsibilities that apply during emergencies. These are not ceremonial rules. They are what allow many independent operators to share the same bands without turning them into noise. There is one important reason to be cautious with old study guides. The current rules do not permanently fix the number of questions, duration, or detailed paper pattern. Instead, the Department of Telecommunications is required to publish the syllabus, manner, place, date, and time of the examination. That means an older manual may still be useful for learning radio, but the current official examination notice must be used for the final paper pattern. At the level of the 2024 rules, Successful completion requires at least 40% of the total marks for the category being attempted. The current examination notice should still be read carefully for the precise structure of the paper and any instructions that apply to that particular examination. For the general category, there is one additional skill: Morse code. The required speed, test length, and method are to be specified by the government for the examination, so those details should always be taken from the current notice rather than an old coaching page. Morse may be more than a century old, but it remains a useful radio mode. It occupies little bandwidth and can often be copied under conditions in which a voice signal would be difficult to understand. Restricted candidates do not have this additional Morse requirement under the current rules. Restricted is the simpler route for someone who wants to begin without the additional Morse test and is comfortable with more limited operating privileges. General is the better target for someone who wants broader privileges and is prepared to practice Morse. Neither choice has to be made out of fear. Radio theory and operating procedure can be learned systematically, and Morse is a skill developed through short, regular practice, not something that must be memorized in one sitting. The examination deserves preparation, but it is not an undefined obstacle. The government publishes the syllabus in full, and a link to it is in the description below, so you can look through every topic for yourself. The subject divides into a few understandable areas. Indian citizens can become eligible from the age of 12, and every topic has a practical connection to operating a real station. Begin with electricity and components. Then learn the station as a complete chain. After that, study propagation, antennas, and interference. Finally, practice operating procedure, regulations, and, when aiming for general, Morse code. That is a manageable learning path. For viewers outside India, do not copy these requirements directly. Amateur radio examinations are administered nationally, and the categories, passing requirements, and Morse provisions differ from one country to another. Use the current information published by the telecommunications regulator or recognized amateur radio organization where you live. The ham radio examination is not a test of whether someone already knows everything about radio. It is a compact course in operating responsibly. Understand the equipment, respect the spectrum, identify the station, and avoid causing interference. In the next episode, the examination moves from theory to action. The current application process, the documents involved, and how a successful candidate receives a call sign. Subscribe and tap the bell to continue the series. This is Calling CQ. See you on the air.